Let me mention one other thing. Mr. Chris, showed you on the launch pad over there that rocket I've got sitting on it. On the launch pad here, it's like a tripod because we have three parts right here, and we have actually the launch rod. Your rocket fits on, and it fits into the launch lug. The launch lug holds onto the rocket and goes in. Again, when we ignite the engine, and you'll see how we do that outside in a few minutes electrically, the rocket ignites, the engine ignites, it takes off. And the reason for this rod, I know some of you already know this, we've talked about it, but just be sure everybody knows, this guides the rocket up for the first couple of feet when it gets going fast. And once it gets going fast enough, then that's when the fins and the nose cone equalize the pressure, and that actually guides the rocket for a stable flight. If you just set the rocket down like this and ignited it, you could do that, but it might fall over to the left or fall over to the right, and it'd be dangerous. So again, that's the reason we use these launch rods to guide the rocket. And that brings up an item I want to mention to you, safety. How many people went through and read their instructions when you took your rocket home, when your rocket kit, we asked you to be sure to read the instructions and go through that, right? Okay, also there's a little piece of paper, a little small pamphlet inside that talk about safety rules. Safety is a very important thing as far as launching a rocket. We'll go outside and I'll go through some of these things when we do it. But we want to be sure people are away from the launch pad. You don't want to have the launch pad energized. You don't want to have electricity on the little clips there at the bottom when you hook up the engine. Otherwise, you could have it ignite and go off in your face or something like that. So there's a lot of safety things we want to be sure and do. You don't want a dog or cat or a little brother or a little sister come running across next to the launch pad once you're standing back getting ready to launch the rocket also. You want to be sure and check, be sure there's not any low-flying airplanes or anything around, or high winds. If the wind is really blowing really, really hard outside, you don't want to launch a rocket, especially these. These have parachutes, and once they go up and the parachute opens up, it's made or designed to float nice and softly down. If you have a high wind, it might float off, a half mile or float over towards some trees on top of a building. So there are various things that you want to think about when we do this. Does anybody have any questions before we go outside and launch our rockets? Yes, ma'am.
The one thing I would like to just kind of add on about safety, we are going to let you go, if your rocket is launched, it's your turn, and your rocket is coming down, you are allowed to go get it. We want you to retrieve your rocket. But one place I do not want you to run into is the parking lot. If it looks like your rocket is landing over towards the parking lot, you need to let an adult walk out there to get it, okay? You're not allowed to go running into a parking lot. That's a good rule, don't you think? Okay. So be careful when you're running. The other thing is we do, every once in a while when we launch rockets, two people are running towards the rocket. And they're running and looking at the sky to try to catch a rocket, and they run into each other. Okay, so we try to make a rule that if it's your rocket, you get to go get it. Everybody's not going to run and try to get each other's rockets.
One
right?
person, only
one person, because you could imagine how that would happen, right? If everybody's running the same direction, you run into each other. Okay, so just be careful.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Just wanted to mention that. Now, sometimes when we launch rockets, sometimes we let them land on the ground, but up to you, however you want them to do it. If you want them to run and catch it, you just have to be careful that you don't trip over something or run into a flagpole or something like that.
Careful.
So whatever you say on that. Yes, ma'am.
Do you want us to bring these evaluation sheets so you could because there's 3 more categories that you have to fill out.
We're going to, after we go out and launch rockets, good question, after we go out and launch rockets, we'll all come back up here. We'll get your rocket and bring it back up here and fill out the evaluation, and then we'll go through, because we have, Ms. Spalding has some prizes and some things for you that we're going to look at. One of the grading things that you see on the bottom is actually the flight part. We call it the dynamic part. That's where we'll see, I'll look at it and see if it's stable. If it wobbles real badly or it comes apart as it takes off or something like that, that will be some grading criteria. So we've done what we call the static part. The static part is where it stays still, doesn't move. That's what we've done so far with the grading. Now the flight part is the dynamic part, so that'll be another part of the grading. After we go fly all the rockets, we'll all bring your rocket, we'll all come back up here and take your seats, and we'll do the final grading, and while we're doing that, I'll fill out the evaluation sheets, right? And then Ms. Spalding will give away the other items that we have. Sound like a plan?
Yes.
Okay, any other questions? 1, 0, and on 0, you're going to push a little button, right? All right. Power and continuity on. All conditions look pretty well. I don't see any problems. All right, 3,
2,
1, 0.
Whoa!
Check it out. All right.
Oh,
Go
that's
after.
right. I think it is.
3, watch the rocket. Guys on the rocket. 3, 2, 1, 0. Wow, that's great. There you go. All right. Okay. All right, we're ready?
ready guys?
3,
2,
1, 0. Three, 2, 1, 0. There you go. Parachute did open up. Heads up.
So
All right.
they're trained well.
All right, here we go. 3,
3, 2, 1.
0.
Whoa!
All right, Sarah.
Push them in the air. Drive the rocket. 3,
3, 2, 1.
0.
That was the week we did that.
Ran around a little bit on the way up.
All right, Hannah. You didn't pop up.
There you go.
Go get it. See if you can get it.
3, 2, 1, 0.
Whoa!
Where'd it go?
Good.
Oh, there it is.
When I say 0, watch the rocket. Keep your eyes on it. 3, 2, 1, 0. Hey, that's good flight. Good one, man. All right. There it is. Think it looks good? All right. Ready? 3, 2, 1, 0.
Oh, my goodness. It's heading that direction.
3,
2,
1, 0.
0.
Good flight.
Ain't got a parachute at all.
Okay.
All right, guys.
All right, everybody ready? I'm gonna turn on the power. When I say 0, push the button. Ready? 3, 2, 1, 0. Power's on. That means all the wires. When I say 0, only when I say 0, push the little green button. 3, 2, 1, 0. There you go. 3, 2, 1, 0. There you go. But basically the rules are going to be whichever one gets down last. That means the parachute opened up better and it had more air and it took its time coming down. All right, so we got it? So Sarah, right? Sarah and Hannah. All right, we're going to put the key in. In this case, it's for the power on both sides. All 4 lights are go. And on 0, when I say 0, push the green button. 3, 2, 1, 0. Wow, check that out.
Ah!
1, 0.
Wow.
Did y'all see it went up a little higher?
Where'd it go?
Straight up. It's going that way behind us. Oh, no, it's not. Never mind.